Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to my channel. To all our beloved viewers and subscribers, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a happy, healthy and safe Thanksgiving. In this video, I'll give you some interesting information about the next US Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen. I'll tell you about an interesting decision by a judge in Pennsylvania and I'll let you decide whether it affects the election results or not. And number three, I'll share some noteworthy comments from President-elect Joe Biden, who actually addressed the nation in a Thanksgiving address. Let's just jump right in. Janet Yellen is projected to be the next US Treasury Secretary. And you see this article on your screen that was published in the Wall Street Journal. Politics is not Janet Yellen's forte, but it's what she's in for now. Biden's pick for Treasury Secretary has done it all in economic policy. She has a lot of experience. She was the chairman of the Federal Reserve from 2014 to 2018. And if confirmed, she will face new tests on debt and spending in a deeply divided Washington, because right now the House is controlled by Democrats, their majority has shrunk, and the Senate right now is controlled by Republicans. Now I'm smiling because I read the whole Wall Street Journal article, and the thing that really jumped out at me was this. Ms. Yellen prepares for tasks meticulously and doesn't particularly like surprises or risks. By the way, that's who you want in someone who's managing money for the whole country. She tends to arrive early for flights to avoid mishaps and to ensure choice space in overhead compartments. When she was a guest at the White House Correspondents Association dinner in 2014, she was the first person to arrive at a ballroom that seats thousands of individuals. And you can actually see her here on the screen, sitting there pretty much in the ballroom on her own. This is the kind of individual, a prudent individual, that we want handling our money. I'm smiling because you can understand how I feel about this. Now, in other interesting news, a Pennsylvania judge halts election certification amidst the mail-in vote fight. You'll see this article on your screen that was published on Fox News. A lawsuit alleged that Pennsylvania's mail-in voting law violated the state's constitution. So a judge actually halted election certification amidst a mail-in vote fight. But guess what? The Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro, and you'll see his tweet on your screen right now, he quickly pointed out on Twitter that this does not have any impact since the results of the presidential election have already been certified and electors chosen in the state of Pennsylvania. So you'll see this tweet on your screen from the Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro, who said this order does not impact yesterday's appointment of electors. In other words, the Electoral College votes have already been awarded to Biden. We will be filing an appeal with the Pennsylvania Supreme Court momentarily. So I just want our viewers and subscribers to know that this doesn't mean that those votes don't go to Biden. They've already gone to Biden. And if a decertification happens, those votes essentially are taken away from Biden. That would be a legal challenge that the Trump team would have to go through. And now let's talk about Thanksgiving for a second. I want our viewers and subscribers to know that I appreciate you. I want you to know that I've spent many Thanksgivings when I first moved to the United States all alone. I didn't know anybody. I actually moved to the United States in 2002. I remember going through a lot on my own, a lot of personal experiences. I actually lost my father back in 2004. He was back in India and I was all by myself in the United States. I couldn't even fly back because of some circumstances at that time. So I know how it is to spend Thanksgiving alone. I know how it is to not have food on the table. I do know. If you don't know anything about me, check out my video. You'll learn a little bit more about my journey. But more importantly, this channel, the Ignition Time channel, our focus on the country, the economy and money, is intended to help you with your journey. I feel fortunate and I'm thankful for many things. One of the things I'm thankful for, in all honesty, is you. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for you giving me the opportunity to be a part of your life for even a few minutes, a few seconds. I thank you for your attention. I want you to know that I'm grateful for many things. And speaking of being grateful, President-elect Joe Biden actually gave a speech, a Thanksgiving speech, and I'm actually going to highlight some segments of his speech. In the first segment, he highlights that we are at war with the virus, not with each other. Let's take a look at some of the key comments from President-elect Joe Biden today. Let's roll the tape.
And now we find ourselves again facing a long, hard winter. We fought a nearly year-long battle with a virus that has devastated this nation. It's brought us pain and loss and frustration. And it's cost so many lives. 260,000 Americans and counting. It's divided us. angered us, set us against one another. I know the country has grown weary of the fight. We need to remember we're at war with a virus, not with one another, not with each other. This is the moment where we need to steel our spines, redouble our efforts, and recommit ourselves to the fight. Let's remember, we're all in this together. Sounds trite to say it, but we're all in this together. For so many of us, it's hard to hear this fight isn't over. We still have months of this battle ahead of us. For those who have lost a loved one, I know that this time of year can be especially difficult. Believe me, I know. I remember that first Thanksgiving, the empty chair, the silence, takes your breath away. It's really hard to care. It's hard to give thanks. It's hard to even think of looking forward. And it's so hard to hope. I understand. I'll be thinking and praying for each and every one of you at this Thanksgiving, at your Thanksgiving table, because we've been there. This year, we're asking Americans to forego so many of the traditions that we've long made in this holiday, which made it so special. For our families, for 40 some years, we've had a tradition of traveling over Thanksgiving. Tradition that we've kept every year save one, the year our son Bo died. But this year, we'll be staying home. We've always had big family gatherings at Thanksgiving. Kids, grandkids, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, and more. For the Bidens, the days around Thanksgiving have always been a time to remember all we had to be grateful for, and a time to begin to think about Christmas and begin even to do the Christmas list.
And in other comments, Biden talked about our personal responsibility. He called it our patriotic duty to wear masks, to distance ourselves socially, and to essentially combat this together. He highlighted the fact that the federal government, even though it has significant powers, even though it has vast powers, at the end of the day, this comes down to our individual actions and our personal responsibility as citizens. He said, "We will change the course of this disease from day one of my presidency." Let's take a look at this segment with President-elect Joe Biden.
But this year, because we care so much for each other, we're going to be having a separate Thanksgiving. For Jill and I, we'll be at our home in Delaware with our daughter and our son-in-law. The rest of the family will be doing the same thing in small groups. So I know how hard it is to forego family traditions. But it's so very important. Our country is in the middle of a dramatic spike in cases. We're now averaging 160,000 new cases a day. And no one will be surprised if we hit 200,000 cases in a single day. Many local health systems are at risk of being overwhelmed. That's the plain and simple truth. Nothing made up, it's real. And I believe you always deserve to hear the truth. Hear the truth from your president. We have to try to slow the growth of this virus. We owe it to the doctors and the nurses and other frontline workers, care workers, who've risked their lives, some lost their lives, put so much on the line in a heroic battle in this virus against it for so long. You know, we owe that to our fellow citizens who need access to hospital beds and care to fight this disease. We owe it to one another. It's literally our patriotic duty as Americans. It means wearing a mask, keeping social distancing, limiting the size of any group we're in. Until we have a vaccine, these are the most effective tools to combat the virus. Starting on day one of my presidency, we will take steps that will change the course of this disease. More testing will find people with cases and get them away from one another, slowing the number of infections. More protective gear for businesses and our schools to do the same, reducing the number of cases. Clear guidance will get more businesses and more schools open. We all have a role to play in beating this crisis. The federal government has vast powers to combat the virus. And I commit to you, I will use all of those powers to lead a national coordinated response. But the federal government can't do this alone. Each of us has a responsibility in our own lives to do what we can do to slow the virus.
That's it, everybody. Let me know about that interesting anecdote from Janet Yellen, the interesting news by a judge in the state of Pennsylvania after the election results have already been certified in Pennsylvania, and comments from Joe Biden? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, you'll find the links to all of our resources in the description section below. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new from this video. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. This is some information about me. If you're new to our channel, I really appreciate you watching. If you learned something new, please consider gently igniting that like button, because the name of our channel is Ignition Time. Please click subscribe and enable notifications so you can become a part of our community going forward. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time on most days of the week. Get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list going forward. If you want, you can also get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and you'll get added to our email list going forward. So definitely become a part of our email list or our SMS list, and you can opt out of either the text messages or the emails at any point in time that you want. Now, sometimes YouTube does not always send out notifications on time. So there's a very simple solution. All you have to do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. This way you'll be able to visit the home page of our channel anytime you want and watch the videos anytime you want, so you're not dependent on YouTube notifications. Speaking of notifications, make sure to follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. Become a part of our Instagram community, which is growing very, very rapidly, and you can get exclusive content from us on Instagram. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. You will get real-time breaking news alerts on Twitter. You'll get them instantly as the news happens. So definitely follow us on Twitter and engage with us on Twitter. As always, if you learned something new from this video, please consider clicking the like button. Please subscribe, please enable notifications. Please also share this video with friends and family, because that would be your vote of confidence in us and all the effort that goes into this channel behind the scenes. That tells a YouTube algorithm you found this content helpful. You'll always get the links to all of our resources in the description section below. We always do that. And finally, and most importantly, please comment below and engage with our community. I'm proud of our community because our community is growing, it's respectful, it's bipartisan, it's intelligent, and you can engage in a healthy debate with your fellow citizens. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.